Hey, family. So, more about Marvin Sapp. He's explaining himself further. So, he went on Ricky Smiley and, he had more to say about that whole situation. We all know about it, the close the doors and the $40,000 that he was attempting to raise by having 1,000 people that were in attendance pay $20. And then he was appealing to the 1,000 people that were online. So, anyway, I'm not going to play that whole thing again. We've all seen it, it's gone viral. So I'm going to play a little clip of his explanation on the Ricky Smiley show, and then we'll talk about it further. Take a look.
The reason why I'm here is because what has happened is people have taken clickbait and made something out of it that it isn't. And because of that, my church has been getting phone calls. People have called my church and cussed me out. My staff are afraid because I've received death threats over $20 and shut the door. People have come to our campus. They have come to my church to try to cause problems, issues, challenges. And again, my children, I don't look at comments. We was talking about this. I don't read comments. When you got millions of followers, you ain't got time to be reading all the comments. You just don't have it.
Right.
My children do. And they are afraid. And the reason being is because I'm their only parent. I'm a widower. They're afraid for my safety. So now we've had to update and increase security and all the things I've never had to do before because of the vitriol and the anger that people have shown, the things that they've said in my thread and stuff. And all of this is because of a misunderstanding.
So here's my 2 cents about this. Shut the doors, lock the doors, potato, potato. At the end of the day, saying shut the doors or saying lock the doors is still an element of trying to confine people against their will. He also mentioned we're going out together. So in other words, by saying shut the doors, that means you're not leaving unless I say you can leave, right? And then talking about the $20, saying everybody needs to give $20. So his explanation of I never said lock the doors doesn't really change the fact that his approach and what he said and the intention behind what he was saying was wrong. That's the bottom line. And then he goes on to say that he's, receiving threats, against his life. And I will say this, I do not agree with anybody getting death threats. Nobody's life should be threatened over it. Do I think it was wrong what he did? Absolutely. But we have to stop, threatening people's lives over things that you may or may not agree with. We can use our mouth and say, you know what? I think what you did was wrong, which is what I'm doing, which is what a lot of people have done, but people's lives shouldn't be threatened over it. So whoever is doing that, please stop. Please stop that. His family is scared, as he said. His staff is afraid. Don't do that. Stop. 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 Let's keep it on merit, which is what he did. If we don't agree with, it was wrong. He should not have asked people to pony up and then shut the doors until you do, because that's the way I perceive it. And that's the way millions of people perceive it. Now, he also goes on to say that the money wasn't for him. So, because a lot of people, even myself included, said, what are you doing with this money? He says it was for the ministry that in which he was in attendance to preach at. Okay, fine. Again, my point is it's the way he went about it that's wrong. When you go to service or a convention or any church-related event, they pass an offering plate around. If you have money, you put it in. If you got your tithes, you put your tithes in. But nobody should be forced to give, and you don't get to put a dollar amount on how much people should give. People are saying, well, $20 isn't a lot of money. Maybe it's not a lot of money to you, but you don't know people's financial situation. So maybe $5 is all they have. So to me, that's where I have a problem. You're telling people how much they should give, and you're saying, close the doors. He said that he, obviously has his own money. He has a gainful employment. We know he's a musician. He has sold millions of albums. I'm sure he does well for himself financially, but he's saying all that to try to prove that the money wasn't for him. But again, everything he's saying does not justify his behavior. Instead of apologizing and saying, you know what, I'm really sorry, maybe that wasn't the right way to go about it, he's gone on and he's just justifying why he did what he did. And that's why I have a problem. And I don't accept what he did, why he did it, why he said he did it, the manner in which he went about doing it, to me is not godlike. It's just not. It's not. And, in his response, the written one that he put on Facebook, some scripture about David asking people to donate or money or gold and all this other stuff. I just don't think that that's the right correlation at all. So again, all that's been happening, as far as I'm concerned, is just him justifying as opposed to taking responsibility for his actions and why people have this reaction to it. So as far as I'm concerned, this doesn't help him. But I'm really interested in knowing what you all think about this. So drop your comments in the chat. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. And until next time, please be safe. I shall see you on the next one.